Hello, football fans, and welcome back to Goalside. When a top team falls apart, suffers a catastrophic drop in form, watches their most loyal manager leave, or their best player sold to another club, how are they supposed to get back on track? There are many different theories and approaches surrounding this. After all, it's what directors of football get paid to do, among other important figures at these types of clubs, so it's no surprise that hundreds of different solutions have been attempted. Whether it's been spending millions on a big-name player from a foreign league or hundreds of millions on several of them, firing manager after manager until the right one finally clicks, injecting a whole lot of the annual budget on sponsorships and renaming the stadium, or simply begging the fans to provide more vocal support, big clubs often do whatever they can to remain at the top, lest they fall into irrelevance and disgrace. Recently, a similar situation to this occurred with one of the biggest, if not the biggest, clubs in the world. Record winner of 13 UEFA Champions League trophies and holder of the Spanish La Liga record with 33 titles, as well as the club that generates the largest revenue in world football at €750.9 million in 2018, Real Madrid CF is a club which has typically and historically been unstoppable to both city and league rivals. Most importantly, however, is Real Madrid's almost timeless struggle with FC Barcelona in a rivalry which has become more than just football, but also a commercial matter of who is developing the best academy graduates and/or buying the most impressive players. All of this has come together with one final event to strike fear into the hearts of Real Madrid fans: the departure of Cristiano Ronaldo during the summer transfer window of 2018. Since this event occurred, Los Blancos have looked weaker than ever, with the now aging Ballon d'Or winner Luka Modric, a constantly injured Gareth Bale, and an older Karim Benzema no longer leading the line as they used to. And the new signings have failed to replace the Portuguese superstar. In a sad twist of events, even Eden Hazard himself, considered the best player in the Premier League for the past few years, wasn't enough for Real Madrid to return to their best. However, a shining light has come forth from the academy levels of Real Madrid Castilla, representing a steadfast, trustworthy player who does his job extremely well and has offered the last three managers of the club, Lopetegui, Solari, and Zidane, a wonderful option in the center of the merengue midfield, injecting much-needed injury into an otherwise slow partnership and bringing youth to an area where Real Madrid are aging. In this video, we cover the hope and expectations represented by 21-year-old Federico Valverde towards Real Madrid and their fans, and analyze his story a bit more closely than has ever been done before. Let's begin by saying Real Madrid have always been built around a strong midfield, and perhaps this has been one of the main sources of their famous success. Every big side, in fact, requires the addition of technically able, highly creative, and very energetic players in their midfield three or two, and has been a recurring theme in Real Madrid's glorious history. While now you may hear the names of Brazilian enforcer Casemiro, Croatian wizard Luka Modric, German passing maestro Toni Kroos, or unpredictable magician Isco, there were once even more impressive names that lit up the Santiago Bernabeu every week, winning their own fair share of trophies. Famous midfielders at the club include Mitchell, known for his amazing crossing ability, hardworking Steve McManaman, who was an amazing dribbler in the final third as well as an energetic presence in the middle of the pitch, Claude Makelele, widely considered to be the best central defensive midfielder of all time, Luis Figo, who came from Barcelona and earned the Ballon d'Or while at Madrid, and finally, Zinedine Zidane himself, who was perhaps among the top 5 players ever to play for Los Blancos. In short, the royal side of Madrid has always needed world-class players for these positions, and it has been a rough time for them to lose both Ronaldo and for age to take both Modric and Kroos at the same time, which leads us back to our main point. Sometimes, a football club must press the reset button and look back into itself to find what it's missing. In this case, a replacement for either of the current midfield partnership. And it seems that they have found one. Born to parents Julio and Doris in the Uruguayan capital city of Montevideo, from which legendary players came such as Juan Alberto Schiaffino, one of the great players of all time, Federico Santiago Valverde de Pera, got into football at an early age. Although little was recorded of his time before his first youth club, it's reported that his energetic and highly persistent style began to develop early, in which he grew both as a footballer and as an athlete, as he aimed to be accepted in the youth academy at the biggest club in his city, Peñarol. After all, every young player in Montevideo wishes to star for the Aguaneros at some point or another, and being able to earn the privilege of playing for the 5-time winners of the CONMEBOL Copa Libertadores. The young Valverde performed well enough to finally get the long-awaited contact from Peñarol at the age of 10, and there he fully began to transform into what the world would go on to see at Real Madrid. He was a well-rounded midfielder, able to pick a pass at will whenever he saw his teammates rushing forwards for a goal, but also capable of firing a few past the keeper himself. This showed as he was called up for both the Uruguay under-15 and under-17 teams before even having played a single first-team match with Peñarol. For the under-15s, he scored 7 goals in 25 matches, and for the under-17s, he would rack up 11 goals in 24. These are wonderful stats for a midfielder, but young Federico was not about to let that get to his head either. He continued his improvement in training with Peñarol until finally, at the age of 17, getting called up by manager Pablo Bengoechea to receive his debut for the first team in Peñarol's first fixture of the 2015-16 season against Cerro. His style of play surprised quite a few scouts and managers across not only Latin America, but the entire world as well. Rumors began to spread from the direction of London, Arsenal, Chelsea, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. All of them wanted to give this young man a trial and perhaps even sign him on a professional contract. In fact, sometime in 2015, Valverde's parents accepted an invitation from Arsenal to visit the Emirates Stadium and watched as their son trained with the North Londoner first team, with Arsene Wenger already planning to sign the potential star for 3.4 million euros. However, a better offer would arrive. Real Madrid had been the most interested in the young man, and although they were aware that Peñarol would ensure that Federico stayed around until he reached his 18 years of age, reaching an agreement with the player's parents was important so that they could ensure his signing once he came of age. While the boy was at the South American Under-17 tournament, Madrid struck the definite blow. 5 million euros would be paid for the signing of his contract, and he traveled to the Spanish capital on May 12, 2015, to undergo his medical exam. A week later, he returned to Peñarol to continue playing, for which he would play 12 matches in total for the first team. Aforementioned Pablo Bengoechea, his manager, had nothing but praise for him. According to the ex-footballer and Peñarol legend, he had never seen a 16-year-old midfielder with so many virtues. Federico was, in his words, exceptional. Jose Perdomo, meanwhile, the young man's under-15 and under-16 coach, described Valverde as a technically able player with a great shot and excellent vision. He claimed that Valverde had an incredible ability to make long passes that nullified opposing defenses, and that his energy, height, and willingness to help his side would lead him toward any team he wanted to play for. In Federico's last season for Peñarol, he was named one of the 50 best U18 players in the world by British tabloid The Guardian. His name was among those of Martin Odegaard, Hachim Mastur, and Deyat Upamecano, who are all high-profile respected players in the present day. Valverde's first season at Real Madrid began at Castilla on July 28, 2016, where he would have to wait until December to score his first goal against Albacete, who Castilla took the league leadership from with his victory. More importantly, however, he began to make himself known to Real Madrid's first team quite early on into his Castilian career, being able to train with them on August 31st and finally caught the eye of first-team manager Santiago Solari a few months later when he was given a start in La Liga in late January of 2017. He would go on to score 3 goals in 30 appearances during the lonely year at Real Madrid Castilla, but the signs were good. Solari himself had nothing but praise for Federico, claiming that the young man generated a lot of football in midfield. With intentions of helping him grow, however, he would be loaned out for a year to Deportivo La Coruña, who were suffering in their bid to stay in La Liga. Despite his excellent form and 24 appearances for the side from Galicia, La Coruña would face relegation at the end of the season. The year 2017 was a big one for Valverde in terms of his national team as well. He would go on to earn the Silver Ball Award in the U20 World Cup, which took place, and it wasn't long before Oscar Washington Tabarez, the eternal Uruguayan coach, also gave him an opportunity for the nation's first team. Asked about the possibility of playing against Leo Messi himself in a CONMEBOL knockout match, Valverde smartly answered a journalist, "I don't think of playing against Messi. I dream instead of walking onto the pitch with Suarez and Cavani." Despite not being taken to the 2018 World Cup in Russia, Valverde has scored 2 goals for the Uruguayan national team, one of them helping the side beat Paraguay in their fight to qualify for the tournament. Returning to Madrid after a disappointing season for La Coruña, Valverde finally cemented his place by impressing Lopetegui first and Zidane second. Now, since then, he has only grown as a Madrid player with his long-term nickname Pajarito, or Little Bird, not serving very well at all to represent the hawk he has become on the pitch. He now offers a truly viable option of the current midfielders, especially with the injury crisis that Real Madrid has been facing of late, and has demonstrated he is not afraid of sides such as in-form Granada, the incredibly hostile Galatasaray at their own stadium, Sevilla, or even Atletico, who had trouble with his endless running up and down the pitch in their 0-0 draw at home against Los Blancos. In conclusion, Federico may just be a young central midfielder, but at 21, he looks better than plenty of legends did before him at the same age, and has heaps of potential that may just turn him into one himself. Long live Valverde, El Pajarito! This has been all our video today on Uruguayan starlet, Federico Valverde. We hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to Goalside. We'll see you right back here in the next one.